Hello, freshmen. We are in the middle of our geography case study project, and in that project, part of it is place name identification. Place name identification is simply getting a place, knowing its name, and knowing where to identify it on a map. You're labeling a map with different places throughout the entire world, and I know that this map is really small. So I'm going to give you numerous maps, probably 6 or 7, 1 or 2 to practice on, and one or the other 4 to put for the continents that we've been studying. So as we go through this, I'm going to show you 5 labeled places, and again, just explain some of the things about them and what you can do when you label them on your map. So our first area is going to be Africa. As you can see, this area used a larger arrow here to show that the Congo jungle is in this general area in the western part of Africa. Down here at the tip of Africa, we have the Kalahari Desert, and in this area where my mouse is hovering over, you can see right now, this is the Great Rift Valley. I drew in the Nile River, which runs through Egypt. And then on this map, I included Saudi Arabia because culturally, Saudi Arabia and Egypt they share a lot of commonalities culturally. And then I use this large circle here for the Sahara Desert. Now, when you do your maps for your project, please create a key that will have mountains, deserts, plateaus, jungle, rainforest, whatever the predominant feature is of your particular continent. We're going to move over to Asia. The Himalayan mountains, again, I used a circle for this particular project. You can see they run between China and India, and they actually kind of curve down this way too. This is India. This is also known as the subcontinent because it's so big, and it's on the lower half of Asia. Here's the Ganges River, which has a lot of cultural value and cultural significance for India, yes. And here is Indonesia. The Yellow River is in China. It runs into the Yellow Sea. And then you have the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, which run into the Persian Gulf. Over to Europe. The Mediterranean Sea is the large sea that you are viewing here. Remember, white is water, if that wasn't obvious to you. The Pyrenees Mountains actually act as an isolator. As mountains isolate, they actually act as an isolator between Spain and France. Even though they border each other, these Pyrenees Mountains have allowed Spain and France to have very traditional cultural lifestyles as isolation will. As we move to the north, we have the British Isles, the Great North European Plain, through this area of Europe, the Scandinavian Peninsula or Scandinavia, and then this small subsection of the Mediterranean Sea right here. And I say small, it's small comparative to the Mediterranean Sea and other bodies of water that you are viewing here, but it's a relatively large sea, is the Aegean. And the Aegean bears a lot of cultural significance for Greece. Over to Latin America, we have the Andes Mountains. It looks like we have a spelling error there. The Andes Mountains, you can see run all along this west coast of South America, and toward the middle and north of South America, we have this Amazon rainforest and Amazon River basin through here. Right to the south and east of that is Brazil. Moving to the north into Mexico and Central America, the Yucatan Peninsula is that peninsula, water on 3 sides, is that peninsula that juts out into the Gulf of Mexico. Mexico City is approximately, and it's almost centrally located in Mexico, and then you have this mountain range that runs down the west coast of the Sierra Madres. Now, I know I said we weren't going to study Australia, but people had so much interest in it when they wanted to do this project, we are. So I found 5 places that we'll need to know. You see this mountain range here, this vast mountain range that runs on the east coast of Australia. The Great Dividing Range is what that is called. Down here at the bottom is a large city of Australia, Melbourne. Right here, we haven't had many plateaus, and we'll take a look at some pictures in class, but we are going to include the Kimberley Plateau, which is right here. The Gulf of Carpentaria, right in there. And Cape York Peninsula, which juts out toward Indonesia. Those are our place name IDs. Remember, you're going to get a map that looks like this. How you do your project map is up to you. If you want to do the artistic work like we had saw samples of in class, that's excellent. If you want to do a computerized version, that is also excellent. The choice is yours. Also, your quiz will be very similar to this map, in which you will have to choose out of all of the places I just listed, and you may add the ones that are not in the list below to the list below. All of the ones I just listed, you will have to choose 20 of your choice to label and be correct. That is the quiz. That quiz is going to be coming at you when we are done with our global case study project, and you can use this video plus what we do in class in order to study for that quiz. We are going to do a few dry runs in class so we're comfortable with what different maps look like. That's it. We'll see you tomorrow.